Hey loves, it's your relationship coach Jay now, and welcome to Response and React. So, Ciara has officially changed her oldest son's last name from Wilburn to Wilson. And baby, the internet was in shambles about it. Future, rapper Future, has been absent for most of his son's life, while Russell Wilson has been a loving, consistent, and active father figure since very early on in that little boy's life. Yet somehow folks are more mad at Ciara and Russell for making a stable family move than they are at Future for being a deadbeat dad. Make it make sense. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like and subscribe button, and if you're ready for deeper conversations and interactive activities that help you date smarter and build healthy families, join my exclusive coffee community.
See, Russell Wilson? This why everybody keep calling you a simp. And I don't care how much Ciara try to take up for you. She ran through it old. That's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to take up for the good guy, the simp that's come and clean her life up and make sure she look good now. Because Future left you wore out. You heard me? Future deemed you a baby mama for life. And I don't care how many children y'all had after Future's child. I don't care how you try to change his last name to yours. You're still pushing another man's legacy and seed, and it's sad. Now, I'm not one of them people that's going to call you corny and lame because I don't know your personality like that. But the way you behaving in the public eye due to Ciara, bruh, you're ruining your legacy. As a man, your masculinity is dwindling.
And this is a masterclass example of a man that hates women. Oh yeah, you can't convince me otherwise, buddy. You're telling me that you're mad at the man that created the nuclear family, but you're not mad at the man that ran off from creating the nuclear family. Ran off 7 times, 7 children, 7 single mothers, 7 broken homes. No smoke given for that. No accountability for that. But you're mad at the man that stepped up and stepped in. You're mad at the man that's going to be the reason why this young boy has a different outcome in life. When women say some of these men hate women, these are the type of men that they're talking about. We have men out here in society that hate women so much at the sight and the thought of seeing a woman being able to bounce back, seeing a woman be able to recover, and have a man step in and love her, marry her, and be a father to her child, and have additional the thought of a woman being able to recover, it really chaps at the behinds of some of y'all men. You can't convince me that this man don't hate women. Like, where are these men coming from? Like, I'm convinced that some of these men are creeping out of the pits of hell and putting their foot back on ground back here on earth. Go ahead and tell us the real reason why you mad, bruh. Is because you want you a Russell Wilson? You want you a Russell Wilson to come into your life, get your haircut, get you a little taper, buy you some Jordans, introduce you to his mama? Is that what you really want? Because the way some of y'all men act towards women, bruh, this level of hatred needs to be studied in a lab somewhere.
I don't care how much Ciara try to take up for you. She ran through it old. That's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to take up for the good guy, the simp that's come and clean her life up. And I don't care how many children y'all had after Future's child. I don't care how you try to change his last name to yours. You're still pushing another man's legacy and seed, and it's sad.
You niggas are not okay. Y'all are not okay at all. Y'all are sick and sad. Ciara and Russell Wilson have been together for like a decade now, right? So we can stop the simp talk and Russell's this and he's that and he's a square. They've been together for a decade. I think that they just have a loving and established marriage. So let's cut that out. Russell Wilson has also been the father that this child knows for the past 10 years. He's been the one raising this little boy. He's been taking him to football camps. He's the one taking him to school. He's the one in the house with him. He's the one doing all the things that Future doesn't. When they changed the name, Future tweeted out that he didn't give a fuck, right? So why do you, if Future don't care, why do you grown-ass men on the internet care? What about that hurt you, but didn't hurt Future? Think about that. Future is such a fucking deadbeat that he doesn't care, and you're such a bitch that you do. You're weird and gay. Like, would y'all prefer her son? Let's get Ciara out of it, right? Would you prefer that little boy to just be fatherless for the rest of his life? Do y'all not think he deserves something better, some kind of present man in his life? We know there's we got a lot of issues in this country with little black boys, man. A lot of black boys aren't being raised right, even when the parents got all the money in the world, right? But this kid, from the outside looking in, it looks like he has a chance to do something good in his life, to be raised in a loving environment with a stepfather who is caring, who's doing all the things that a father should do. Why do you not want that little boy to have that? I'm not asking you why you don't want Ciara to have a husband, or why Russell's a simp, or why Future's this. Why do you not want their child to have a father? Answer me that. And if that man is that child's father, being that he stepped up to be one, what is your problem with him having that man's last name if Future doesn't even care about it? Again, think, if Future doesn't care that they changed name, why do you?
So regarding young Future having Wilson added to his last name, because it's been a wild couple of days, and at first I thought this was just social media foolishness, and what I was seeing made it seem as if his biological father's name was completely removed from his name, when in actuality the baby's name is hyphenated. I have several perspectives and lived experiences I want to share in regards to this. But before I do that, I just want to say there's nothing wrong with the decision that Ciara made. And none of us know the fine details. I don't believe Future has signed over his rights. And I don't think Ciara would have done this without some sort of engagement with that man. That's just my feeling. She is on an album run. She is very much in the media. We know Future will come and tell his business and be messy in all ways at all times. I ain't seen no post from him. The only person that's Dirty Mac and Future right now is Young Thug, which is another conversation we had. That being said, I'm in my 40s. I know that this is likely classified as respectability politics in 2025, but there was a time, especially in a black household, where it was an immense space of pride for everyone to have the same last name. That's just the truth. And I remember my daddy worked his ass off, but we were never well off. But one thing was, my mom and dad was like, they are married. They had been married for, years and years and years. She knew all her kids came from this man. She got his name. We got that name. And so in a world where you may not have currency that capitalism acknowledges, for black folks, there was a time where those sort of things were currency. And so I think Ciara, being from the South, and I think Russell, again, I don't know either of these people personally, but I'm just looking at just like the nucleus of the family and black culture overall. I think that's a component that I can understand. Two, he is, Baby Future is the oldest, and everyone in the house has a different last name than him. Now, I feel this on two sides. So my family's last name is Starks. I legally changed my name to Dominique Morgan in 2004, 21 years ago, long before I transitioned, right? And so in the public eye, no one has ever known anything but Dominique Morgan. And there are some people who are friends with my blood siblings that'll gag and realize that we are related, or my nieces and nephews, right? And there was a time it didn't bother me, because when I was younger, I wasn't so much tied to the family name and what it meant. Ironically, through my transition and through ownership of self and my story and who I am, it it became important. And Dominique Morgan is who I am, and my family is who I am. And so I've searched for ways to infuse that. So my company is called Starks and Whitaker Consulting. Whitaker is my mother's maiden last name. Starks is my father's last name. So I realized when I had a street named after me, I wasn't moving forward my family's last name in some of the incredible moments I was having. So when I was at Essence last year, it didn't say that. When I walked across the stage at Essence this year, in the main auditorium, my mother and father's name was ring across that room. That's important. So baby Future, as he grows up, he will have to figure out what that means for him and what that relationship is in his heart through connections to people, and that will be important. But in this time, the people who are the stewards over his life, I believe it's a protective layer, because kids are mean and people are mean. Well, the parents are already celebrities. All three of his parents are celebrities, whether we like them or not, right? And so already in your business. And I also want to say that what I've seen of the two other children, baby Future is darker than the other two. There's a lot of differences in how he looks compared to the other two children in the household. And I'm not thinking those things are causing Russell or Ciara to treat them differently, but I bet the world does. And so opportunities for sameness, opportunities for connective tissue that the outside world can recognize, because we're not in their house. So we don't get to see, we see moments when Russell posts and all those other things, and this baby is still young enough where, I don't think they have a social media account. The first time I heard any of the kids talk is the little video that Ciara did with the daughter, when they were talking about the music. But I think it's a connective tissue, and I know it may upset some people, but I think the people who are most upset are the folks who think a last name. I was watching a segment from the Joe Budden podcast, and Mark Lamont Hill was like, doing his thing. But Joe was like, it's kind of messed up because, yeah, I could be a shitty parent, but the beauty of my child having my last name is that if they go out in the world and do great things, they kind of cleanse our timeline of my mistakes, and my family still gets to go forward. I think that's bullshit. Legacy is earned. As someone who has established a legacy and is thoughtful about continuing to work on my legacy, I love that my nieces and nephews can walk in a room and say my name, and people get them in or support them in a different way. I love that my people can reach out to me and be like, hey, do you know these things? That for me is connected to my name. People say brand now instead of legacy. And for a lot of people, the only brand they will have, the only legacy they will have is in their children. But then they don't want to do the effort to invest in that. If that's all you plan on leaving, if that's the impact that you want speaking for you 20 years down the line, why would you not invest in it? Future invests in his music career. Why don't you invest in your child the same way? And so I dismiss that claim. I think it's a lot of people holding on to personal feelings. At the end of the day, Russell is his father, is his dad. Whatever action statement you want, he's there raising that baby. And he's growing up in a nuclear family with these two siblings and his mother. And they all are the Wilsons. He deserves that. And I'm hopeful that he was a part of the conversation. I'm assuming that's the case, but that's my hope. And much like when people gagged about Zaya Wade, one of the most beautiful ways of liberation with Black children is letting them make choices that sometimes make Black adults uncomfortable. But as long as it doesn't put them in danger and as long as they're safe, we as Black adults need to do a better job of sitting in our uncomfortability as we witness these young people experience a level of freedom that we haven't had. Because for people who had a father who never showed up, but you walking around with that man's name, and every trace of person goes, you such and such child, and that such and such ain't did nothing to make sure that you were okay, I'm sure you wish you could take that jacket off or add another jacket. Anyone who's grown up in a home where you feel like you're the odd one out, I'm sure you wish there's a connective tissue that you could actualize to bring you closer into your nuclear family. I think it's beautiful. Little Future looks healthy. That's all I care about. Everyone else is adults. So them niggas can get it how they live. Those are my thoughts.
So Ciara changed Lil Future's last name to Wilson. Now, I think she hyphenated it. I don't think she just all the way changed it to Wilson or whatever like that. However, I see an outrage online. People, man, that girl crazy. I wish my girl would. I wish my baby mama would do some crazy stuff like that. And like, some of y'all baby mamas need to do that. Because I see a more of an outrage of this little boy getting his last name changed over Future not being there every day. Yeah, this just let me know that if y'all like a person, y'all let them do whatever. It don't matter about their integrity. It don't matter about their character or who they really are behind the scenes. If y'all like their movies, if y'all like their music, they can be a fuck nigga. I don't care. You know, it's just like, that shit weird to me, and that shit dead to me, bro. That shit dead, bro. If Future was there every day, I don't think Ciara would even consider that. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, some of y'all baby mamas do need to change y'all kids' last name, because y'all don't be there. Oh, my dog coming over here. God damn, nigga, you running fast as hell. But some of y'all baby mamas need to change y'all kids' last name, because y'all lame as hell. It is what it is, bro. Y'all don't be in y'all kids' life. Y'all pay child support and think that's raising a kid, because you lame as fuck. I said it. That's it. That's all. I want better for you, though. Factuals.
What's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right. Folks are so upset that Ciara decided to change her son's last name to Wilson. They're more mad than damn Future. I seen a comment where this person said, when I'm mad, I respond. Basically trying to give Future a pass for saying he don't give a fuck. He moves that of a person that don't give a fuck. To be upset that she wants her son to have the same last name as his father is fucking insane. And I'm sure these are the same people that was upset when that mother was protected in Chicago by her son. It's like Carmelo Anthony's family. They said that he came from a broken family, except for his mom and dad had been married for 17 years. When it became an attack on single moms, let me scratch that. Single black, but it's sickening. Also used to seeing wrong that y'all don't realize and recognize when a man and a woman is doing it right. It's coming off like most of these men that's yelling in their phone and yelling into this abyss, they can't stand Russell Wilson and that he's a simp. There are some women, the same individuals, that lacked positive representation as they were coming up. So they expect everybody else to be motherfucking miserable. That man said he don't give a fuck. But why do you?
You really can't even be mad at Ciara for doing that, because it's like, if the only thing Future is doing is financial provisions, and another man, her husband, is full-time raising his child, and he has really no active fathership in that child's life, I would change the name too. Shit, I mean, at this point, it's like you're really not even a father. Why would I not? I mean, this man has been more of a father to your child than you have, and it's your child. So if you changing the name to Hit, you can't be mad. I'm not gonna be mad at that. I mean, shit, Future ain't a father to the son, to his son. So it's like, I agree. You can't even be mad at that. You cannot be mad at that. Hell, one of my friends some years ago got with a girl who had a child, but she had a child by a dude who's, I think he has life. He has life in prison. And the daughter was like 4 years old, fell in love with the daughter. He didn't have kids at the time. He raised her. He was around them and raised her like that was his daughter. So when they finally got married, if I'm not mistaken, he ended up doing the whole adoption thing. And, you know, the legal process was like crazy long, I think. And I don't know if the father that has life either signed his rights over, or the courts just said this nigga not getting out of prison, so he got life, so we'll just relinquish his rights and, you know, sign you over, because his name got put on the birth certificate. So, you know, he's legally now her, you know, father. But yeah, I mean, if a motherfucker ain't doing shit, why not? Like, I don't see nothing wrong with what Ciara did, because it's like, bro is raising his child like it's his, and it's a whole other man. And it's like, what are you doing? So if this man is raising your child, yeah, his name is about to be changed to his last name. Because why would it be yours and you not even being a father? You're not being a father to your son. So, yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with what Ciara did. Like, I agree. Hey, change the motherfucking name. I agree.
So Ciara changed her son Future's last name from Wilburn to Wilson. It's a couple of letters. It really ain't a full change if you ask me. But overall, it's like, I don't understand why people are that mad. Like, Future's not an active parent. Her husband is. You know what I'm saying? And he treats her son just like his own. So why not do it? Like, this is a situation where I don't understand why you would, have a problem with it unless you was Future himself. You know what I'm saying? Do I think that women should just go out and change their kid's last name to whoever they're dealing with at the time? No. But I'm pretty sure Russell has put the work in to get that son's last name. For that son to get his last name. You know what I'm saying? He's put work in. Overtime. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think Future gets his son at all, to be honest with y'all. Plus, he got plenty of people to continue his legacy. And if it's that big of a deal, it's just the last name. He literally, if he was in his son's life and his son really cared that much to continue the Wilburn legacy, he literally could just name his daughter or son in the future, no pun intended, but he literally could just give them the Wilburn last name. Doesn't really change anything.
An NFL player named Channing Crowder, I guess a former player who's on a podcast, doubled down on his point that Russell Wilson, who is married to the singer Ciara, is a lame because because he's corny and things like that. And he says, because, as a guy from Atlanta, I wouldn't want to hang out with him. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know exactly where that's coming from. I know a lot of people have called him a simp because he stepped in where Ciara had a baby with a rapper named Future, and Russell stepped up to take care of this child. Really what I saw by Channing's doubling down on his point about Russell being a lame really comes from the promotion by racist people in Hollywood and the music industry of a pimp culture amongst black men. This pimp culture, it was in music. It started in the 1970s, went to the 1980s when Snoop started saying stuff like, "We don't love them hoes." And then it even dabbled into stuff like sex trafficking, where we will look up to a pimp more than we look up to a solid man. I don't know what you heard about me, but I'm a motherfucking, right? So long story short, you got to understand the miseducation of a Negro that has occurred in modern society. Millions of black men have learned not how to be men, but how to really be punks, how to be losers. If you look, if he talks about Atlanta culture, I love Atlanta. I got a lot of good folks in Atlanta, good people in Atlanta. But if you look at just what drug culture, stripper culture, pimp culture does to a community, it does nothing good. Your seed in the next generation dies. It kills your wealth. It kills your legacy. It kills everything. The rapper Future, he promotes drug addiction. There's no community that's ever been successful when you're being led by drug addicts. You can't succeed like that. And so, long story short, I will say, I'm really happy that there are people that are standing up against that understand common sense and really care about the black community, because what is most insidious about racism in America, and this is not just anti-wealth, it's extremely anti-black, is that you have a lot of the leaders in your community that are incredibly anti-black. You have leaders in your community that are promoting ideas that are not good for the community, not good for the children, not good for wealth, not good for family, not good for safety, and all they want to do is put more black people in prison. So if that's how you think, then you might as well just go ahead and join the KKK. Just take the mask off, Negro, because something's wrong with you. That's my 2 cents. I'm out of here. Have a good day, everybody. We do class every morning, financial class for free. I'm a finance professor. If you want to join us, just type the word money in the comments if you're on Instagram, and I'll send you a link. Or you can also text the word money to the number 87948. I'll see you in the invitation. Take care. Peace.
Imagine running into your baby daddy on the red carpet with your now husband. Now, Future tried to sabotage Ciara. We all know this. He left her with the baby. He wanted her heartbroken. He wanted her bitter. He wanted her angry. And he wanted her mad. And it worked a little bit. She was angry and a little upset, going back and forth with his other baby mamas, but she snapped out of it and she self-isolated. She took care of her son and she worked on herself. So that way she was able to manifest the perfect partner. A lot of men will give you a baby as a form of abuse. They don't want to continue their legacy. They don't care about that kid. They want you washed up and bitter, okay? And you have to be very smart, and you have to understand that a lot of men like this do not know what unconditional love is. They don't know what self-worth is, and they don't have any self-respect for themselves. So many women want to meet their dream man. They want to have a beautiful house. They want to get married. They want to have kids, and they want to be happy. And a lot of men will sell you this pipeline dream just to get in your pants. And then after they get in their pants, they're going to drop off a kid in you and expect you to have to figure it out on your own. The best thing you can do in life is work on yourself and unlearn bad and toxic behavior so that way you can create the life that you've always wanted. Ciara is a prime example of being a level girl and knowing what you want in life and not giving up. She said, I am not going to let no sorry man with multiple kids and multiple baby mamas stop me. And that should be your number one red flag. If you meet someone with multiple kids and multiple baby mamas, run. Okay, run. You have to remember this is your life and you're able to create the life that you want. You're able to have everything you've always wanted. But in order to do this, you have to let go of your past. You have to move on and you have to drop people who try to destroy you. As soon as someone show you their true colors, move on. Okay? Move on.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, fam. This one brought up such a controversy, and I think it's because it was very triggering to a lot of people and uncovered a lot of wounds that people have, likely about their own childhood and also the way that they're operating. I do not see this type of backlash in other communities, but in the Black community, this seems to be a thing. So when a few months ago, Ciara decided, or put in the tabloids, put out that she was changing her son's name, Little Future, her son she has by the rapper Future, to Wilson, because Russell Wilson has been in that boy's life consistently for at least 10 years. And he has played the role of a dad 10 toes down for that little boy. And I think that is a beautiful thing to see, because his biological father, Future the rapper, has been very irresponsible and very reckless with his lifestyle. He has created a lot of broken homes and a lot of broken lives and a lot of broken dreams. This man has multiple children by multiple babies' mothers. It's a ridiculous number. It's something, I want to say it's something like 9 or 10 by like 7 different women. It's something that's very ridiculous. That's the nicest way I can say it. And it's obvious that he could not, even if he was a very present father, he could not possibly be spending quality time with all of those children and be making a positive impact on their lives. And from what I've heard in tabloids, he is not an active and present father with any of his children. And some he does not even claim, which is very sad. So, once Ciara separated from him, she got Russell Wilson, and they have a beautiful marriage and relationship. She has multiple children with him, and he embraced her son as it was one of his own children. And that is just a beautiful thing to see. This backlash coming from primarily Black men is so telling. The amount of Black men that are upset about this because they're like, no, that's his seat. You sound stupid. You are worried about something like that, but these are the same men that won't hold Future accountable in terms of being his fan base for not being an active and present father. These are also the men that are likely replicating this very same pattern in their own lives, or they did not have a clear, active, and present, consistent father that was positive in their own lives. Because if you've had a dad and you grew up with a good dad, you would recognize the beauty in the role that Russell Wilson plays in Little Future's life. And the fact that, Ciara has come to a point, and people also forget that, segue, she probably is not unilaterally making this decision. You've heard nothing of Future, the rapper himself, coming out to say anything. So this more than likely was discussed with him. I know she is the custodial parent. I know she has the primary, rights and decision-making responsibilities around little Future. But still, I would be very surprised just from the way Ciara presents as very mature, very meticulous, and very serious about her family, that there was not several probably conversations that went on with Future about this desire that probably little Future himself had, and then her and Russell had, to give that young man her husband's last name, because his biological father is not, and has never been a consistent, positive, and present part of that little boy's life. And the reality is, if Future had always been like a really solid dad, this conversation wouldn't even be happening, because it would be a moot point, because he would be showing he's going to show up and be a good dad regardless of the fact that, Ciara moved on. So it's a really silly argument, and it's very telling from the men who have problems with this. They do not have a healthy view of family dynamics. They don't really want women to take accountability because they don't understand the definition of the word. They want to punish women. They want women who have had children to basically be punished and judged forever because they did this and never find happiness. And a lot of them, I think, are very bitter that Ciara moved on and found happiness and found a really solid partnership with a man who has presented, from all we see in the media, as a very consistent and sincere man that's about his family and loves his wife and his kids. And they are resentful of that because it's foreign to them. I think the black men that have problem with this is very foreign to them. And I grew up in a household with, 2-parent professional household in the suburbs, and I'm very thankful for that. My parents have been married forever. And the consistency I saw and the way my dad has always shown up is something that I would look for in a partner as well. Like, that's a very important characteristic and attribute. And it's also crazy. Like I said, the same men who are mad about this are the same men who are doing the exact same thing. They're creating broken homes, broken dreams, broken lives, but they hate single mothers. But yet they are out perpetuating and creating this. These men tell on themselves so thoroughly when something like this comes out, and their viewpoint on it is so skewed and stupid. I don't care what it is. It's stupid because you are mad because the man who contributed biological material to this boy's DNA, who is not being a clear, present, and consistent father figure in his own son's life, and you're mad that his boy's mom, in this case, decided through years of viewing the consistency that her husband is providing in her son's life, Russell Wilson, you are mad at her for wanting to change her son's name to her husband's last name. Like, this is so telling about the way that a lot of black men think. But these are like I said, these are the same black men who won't hold Future accountable for not being a present father, because they feel they should be allowed to go out, be ratchet, be raggedy, spread their sperm everywhere, create broken homes, broken dreams, and broken lives, ruin a woman's life, make women single mothers, and do all this, and not ever be held accountable. And they feel, in my interpretation of the reactions I've seen and the ones I've stitched, they feel that this is taking something away from Future, basically lessening the harm he intentionally caused by procreating with her and making her a single mother. That's how I see it. I think cruelty is always the point when men disagree with something that is so beautiful and so touching. And it really should make you take a step back and look at them as human beings and people, and how much this isn't about what's good for Future. It's about them constantly wanting to see Ciara suffer for having a child by Future. And I really think it is. And they are always saying negative things about Russell Wilson when he has done nothing but consistently shown up and been the prototype of what a lot of black women want in a husband. You know what I mean? He has no scandal. He is about his family. They are out together. They look beautiful together. Their kids seem happy, healthy. They seem to be in a very balanced and healthy household. And the subset of men, sadly it's far too many, of black men who are angry about this, they thrive in dysfunction and chaos. And so they're so angry, and they hate women too, in my opinion. And that's why they're so angry that Ciara is doing nothing but leveling up and glowing up. And she has been consistently married to this man, created beautiful children with him. They have a beautiful family. And she's trying to, help her oldest son be whole. Right. And this, hey, we don't know. This could have been something that has been kicked around or even asked about by Little Future for years. The public doesn't know, and we don't need to know. We can just speculate off of what we hear on social media. But it's my thoughts on this. And I think any man, this is a telltale sign, just a segue. When you're dating and things like this pop up in social media, listen to what that man says that you're dating, because he's going to tell you everything that you need to know about his character. I think this is a very character revealing type of story because it hits on so many points that we do grapple with in the Black community. But let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Response and React. Ciara's decision to give her son the Wilson last name isn't just about a hyphen. It's about stability, presence, and choosing what's healthiest for her child. Russell has been there every day, showing up with love, consistency, and protection. That's what real fatherhood looks like. The outrage says more about people's projection than her parenting. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your thoughts and engagement keep these conversations going. And if you're ready to go deeper, to unpack relationship patterns, heal your attachment wounds, and build the kind of love and family you deserve, join my exclusive coffee community. Inside, you'll find thoughtful prompts, interactive exercises, and real-world coaching tools to help you date and love from a place of confidence, not chaos. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, reminding you that healthy love always looks like peace.